Hopefully, I didn't go live before. I just kind of was like spazzing out. Welcome to the replay, everybody. I am going to be answering the question today, why can't I keep up with the traditional filing system? I get asked this question a lot. And so I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons why, and then maybe other things that you can do. And this would apply to both paper and digital. So I'm Joanne Kroll. I am the Sensible Organizer, and I do this weekly. I didn't schedule this one, kind of pulled this one up this morning and just decided to go live without pre-scheduling. So why doesn't a traditional filing system work for you, if that's the case? Um, the first question that you always want to ask is, has it ever worked for you in the past? Um, I'm a former accountant. I had to work with filing systems. I despise filing. Yes, I know. I'm a professional organizer that helps people with filing systems, and I personally do not like to file. So I found my ways around that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Um, but a traditional filing system in paper, it works for me. It's just that I have to make some tweaks to make it work for me. And as far as digital, I have to have a filing system, but I know a lot of people don't. So first of all, let's talk paper. If you have a filing system, say you have a filing cabinet and it's stuffed and you're not using it, there could be a couple of reasons. You haven't purged it, so it's full, so it's really hard to move in and out of the files to file things away. Maybe the cabinet is broken, the drawer doesn't move right. Little things like that can really throw us off. And these are questions that you would be thinking about if you really want to use that paper filing system and you want to make it work. So you'd want to fix that. You want to make sure that you get a better filing cabinet or fix the one that you have. Or you want to make sure you purge it and clear it out so that there is a lot of room for the new stuff coming in. Um, you may be like me, where you simply don't like to file. I am talking to you, Danica. So you may be like me, where you just, yeah, like I said, you simply just don't like to file. So the way I get around that is I have a file in the front of my filing cabinet, although I think I've talked about this before, but I just let go of 95% of my paper. So I don't even use a filing cabinet anymore. I just have a little portable thing for the small amount of paper I have left. But even in the front of that, I have a folder that says to be filed because I like to batch file. So that could be it. Some people are very good about taking a piece of paper, using it, and filing it right away. That is not me. So you maybe you don't like to file, or maybe you have a filing system where you saw this great, pre-packaged label thing where you're like, oh, this is great. It says medical and insurance and whatever, all your utilities, and you bought that and you labeled everything, but it doesn't work for your brain. Now, I'm going to give you a really good example of this. When I had all of my paper bills in person, some of my files would be labeled based on what the service was. So say electric, it would say electric. But then my cell phone category didn't say cell phone. It said AT&T. And if it changed to another, like I think it started out at what, singular, then it went to AT&T, I would just change the name. And that is because the way my brain works is whatever the first thing that comes to mind is what I'm going to use to file something away. And that may not be intuitive for, say, my husband to come to look at the files, but he would be able to find stuff. But it's all about making sure that when you go to do it, the first thing that comes to mind is where you're going to put it. So those are some reasons if you really want to use a paper filing system. Those are some changes that you can make to make it work for you. Now, maybe you don't even want a filing system. I always tell people it is perfectly acceptable to put all of your paper, say for maybe, depending on what time period you're using, if you want to do a yearly thing, putting all your stuff in one box, everything that you need to keep. Putting it all in one box, excluding like your important documents, like your passport, your birth certificate, and all of that, but putting it in a box and labeling it. Labeling it is very important, and having a lid on it is very important because you don't want things popping in that box that don't belong in there. Like somebody walks by and, I don't know, puts a random sock or something in there. That does happen when you have little ones. So, having a box that's labeled, you could go as high level as 2020, or you could have, like a a tiered system where you have the months and you just put the papers in there, receipts, anything that you need to save. Obviously, this wouldn't be for working files. You have a services file for those one-offs like plumber. Yeah, that's perfect. Some people would need to have everything spelled out, but service is great. I do the same thing. Like I have one for landscaping, and that would include, the sprinkler system, anytime we had any mowing done or anything like that, or, the grass redone. But some people might just put that under home improvement. It's really about how your brain works. So, so again, you don't have to use a filing system if it's not going to work for you. Perfectly fine. Now let's apply this to digital. Digitally, you can replicate a filing system digitally, right? You can have folders and have all your files in the folders. I do the same thing with this that I do with paper, because again, when I download a bunch of statements, I hate having to file each one individually. So I actually have a folder on my desktop that says to be filed. And so when I download statements, I just put them in there. And then I'll take some time to go through and just, a fire truck just went by, sorry. It's always nerve-wracking, right? I'll take the time to, process all those all at once, because it just feels good to batch it for me. I'm not saying that you have to do it that way. But the beauty of digital is if you name your files correctly, you can find them. So some people will do that kind of box system in their computer or their cloud services or whatever, where they just have, maybe high level files, or not even any folders. They just have all their documents there. Don't recommend just dumping them all on your desktop though, because visually, when you open your computer and you see 1,000 files, that can be very stressful. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I think you're the only one here today, Danica. So thank you so much for joining me live. I love that. But if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to ask questions afterwards. And it's very interesting to me that I don't love to file, but I love filing systems. I love the end product. I like being able to find things very easily. That's just more important to me, to have it there. So I have to work around. And if I was the type of person that liked it that way, but I didn't have a filing cabinet, I would have, multiple boxes for things. Oh, that's perfect. Filing. Yeah, I have to go through and finish my purge of my papers. I have that small, like, portable thing, and it's full, and I don't want to go any bigger than that. So that's another thing. Kind of, when you use like a box system or a filing system, it forces you to purge, assuming you want to stay organized. So it's kind of like having that. I always use my phone as an example. I consider my phone as kind of like my tiny home. I never get a phone that has tons of space on it, because I need to, hi Deb, welcome. I see, I'm looking up here and I see the live number, and I realize that that's Facebook. So I didn't know that there was more people here as well, because you're coming in from LinkedIn. Love that. But I use my phone as like my tiny home system. I do not allow myself to get a phone with a lot of space, because I will fill it up. So I force myself to have a smaller amount of space. And then, and of course that has gotten bigger over the years, because the smallest phone is, bigger than anything I've ever had. But, and so filing systems do that for you as well. And, because the more space we have, the more we fill it. And that's what I wanted to talk about. When I got rid of 95% of my paper, I want to tell you, I had 2 lateral filing cabinets, large ones. So, either going this way or side to side files back. I had 2 of those. So 4 drawers. And, over time, I've gotten rid of a lot of the paper. So I was down to 1 and it was full. And I shredded probably 80% of it. I recycled, whatever I could recycle, but I filled, was it 8 kitchen trash bags packed with shredding. And I did do it myself. There are services and there are ways that you can get rid of shredding, but I did it myself because I wanted to go through that. And why did I get rid of all that? Because it's just been in my house. We remodeled the office and we wanted to get rid of the cabinets. And the thought of moving all of that really stressed me out. So it was kind of a forced clean out, because I've always been very paper driven. So I shredded most of it. And anything that I felt was super important, I did digitally either put it, I either scanned it and put it in Evernote, or I kept it and put it in the files, and that's what I have left. So thank you for joining me today. And if you have, again, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you have any questions that you'd like me to address in the future, let me know because I do this weekly. That's all. Have an awesome day. Bye.